Hello, Chris Green here with the Flood Insurance Guru. Today we're talking about foundations on your house and when they can have a big impact on your flood insurance rates. Say you're building a home and you want to know, hey, is the foundation type of my home going to change my flood insurance rates? Well, as you can see behind me here, we got a beautiful creek that's running through this property. It really makes it very scenic, but it can also make it very dangerous, especially when you're building a home when it comes to property values and just exposing yourself to flood risk. So today we're talking about really 4 different types of foundations. We're going to be talking about slabs, crawl spaces, basements, and even piers, and how each one of them can have a big impact on you. First one when we talk about is crawl space. When it comes to a crawl space, you can actually benefit very well when it comes to your flood insurance rates if you build the house right. Let's just say we have this creek here and we have a base flood elevation of 100 feet, and you go in and build that house, and the crawl space, the lowest adjacent grade of it, is at 101 feet. Then you might be able to get the flood zone removed. The other thing is, just say if it does flood and it floods that crawl space and you don't have any contents, you don't have a water heater or anything like that in that crawl space, and you've got flood vents in there which will keep the water flowing underneath your property, then you can really limit your damage when it comes to floods. The next one would be a slab. Slabs are kind of a dangerous foundation compared to crawl spaces because there's not a whole lot of wiggle room there. So on a slab, usually what we recommend is even maybe doing what's called a raised slab. When you go to build your house, study what the flood elevation is going to be. Go at least 1 or 2 feet above it in case FEMA comes in and changes the flood zones, which more than likely they will do over time as land changes and other factors come into play. More areas start flooding, rivers start overflowing, things like that. The option number 3 that you can look at for your foundation is a basement. Now, a basement can be very dangerous if it's not done right. One reason is many times water damage in your basement is not going to be covered unless someone else's property was impacted as well, or maybe 2 acres was flooded. And when it comes to a basement, especially a finished basement, if you have a policy through the National Flood Insurance Program, generally they're not going to give you contents coverage if it's a below grade area. Now, private market, you can get up to probably 10, 20,000 in contents, but many things like window decorations and things like that are not going to be covered. Also, carpets many times won't be covered if it's a finished basement. Now, let's say if it is an unfinished basement and you don't have a water heater, you don't have a furnace, like nothing's finished, you have nothing down there, you may not have to count that as your lowest floor, depending on where your servicing equipment like your air conditioner is. So this is kind of how a basement can have an impact on you. But also, if you have a basement that's below grade, in many situations, either the flood premiums are going to be really high up here, or many carriers just aren't going to do it. Of course, the National Flood Insurance Program is going to do it, but the premium is going to be much higher because of the risk. So when you're looking at finished and unfinished, these are some factors to take into consideration. Same thing with crawl space. Same thing with a slab. Now, the last one is piers, and you really see this more on the coast, or like you can see here, maybe if this is a creek running near a river, then you might see it in that area to kind of protect the structure when you put something on piers where the water can run straight through. Now, depending on if you have an enclosure or you don't have an enclosure, could have a big impact on your rates. So let's say you don't have an enclosure and that water can just kind of move smoothly through and not impact any of the structure. It can greatly benefit your flood insurance rates. It can greatly benefit your property value because the lowest rating floor is going to be really where that structure starts. And so if you've got something enclosed like a garage or something, it can send your flooding premiums up here because you may have to count that as your lowest floor. So if you've got questions about maybe you're building a house or your foundation type and you're really struggling to get good coverage, you're struggling to get good premium on your flood insurance, or maybe you just want to try to get your property removed, you can always reach out to us. floodinsuranceguru.com. You can go to our YouTube and our Facebook channels, The Flood Insurance Guru. You can also give us a call, 205-451-4294. Thank you.